Once upon a time there was a kingdom full of flowers and rainbows, where the sun shone all the time and there was loads of that goody-goody, lovey-dovey good people stuff going on. There, the alliance of abominably good people lived in unearned wealth and prosperity. But there was a path leading to a different place there. At the end of this path was a rock. There was a cave carved in this rock in which the absolute evil lived. It wasn't a grubby, damp cave smelling of muck and mildew, but a deep, dark dungeon, so dark that even darkness itself was afraid of it. It was home to numerous innocent monsters who enjoyed a happy, contented existence, living in complete harmony with their environment. But time and again, the sickening, sweet-smelling good visited this underworld in search of treasure and experience points. Many monsters found this to be the death of them, but much worse, the absolute evil's treasures were being stolen. One day, just as a few more heroes had finished plundering its dungeon, the absolute evil decided it had had enough and decided to do something new, something quite monstrous. Go to the surface. The Alliance tried to resist, but the approaching horde just flowed over them like an angry wave of axes, teeth, and bad breath. After numerous unrelenting battles, the absolute evil finally stood before the Alliance's capital, King's Ending.
Alright, so what I've dropped you into here, this is actually a skirmish map. So there's multiple game functions that you have here in Dungeons. You've got single player campaign, which is the main story. You've got multiplayer, which is skirmish map, so it's Dungeon Lord against Dungeon Lord, and whoever, in a sense, captures a flag, controls the most territory, and invades the other person's dungeon, you win, and you can set parameters for that. Or, in some of the DLC packs that are included on the PS4 version, you get all new skirmish maps. And so we've got, ones that are themed. We've got a Song of Sand and Fire, a Clash of Pumpkins, which is very Halloween themed, where you fight ghosts. And I believe this one is actually from a Clash. Wow, I don't know. And this is one of the downloadable skirmish maps. So I've kind of moved this along. So we've got our brewery, always crucial. Here we have what's called the Goblin tech room. And this is where he would do research. So these are all the traps. So he's building up units to build the traps. This is the trap machine. Here's all the traps that he could probably want to research and has already done. So we've got exploding treasure chests, tar pits to the right. Then we've got swinging maces, spikes that pop up, a swinging axe, boulders, because why not, and some, drop some lightning. So you get powerful as more time goes on. So these guys are working on that. We've got a rather expensive treasure room. Got another rather expensive treasure room over here. So we're rolling in it, And what you'll see here, this one hasn't been actuated yet. But what we've got is later we get, instead of orcs, we also have Naga. So what Naga are these characters up here. These are your range fighters and also your spellcasters. So while they're doing is they're mining mana, and so mana fuels not only the magic spells that you can have for traps, but also the Dungeon Lord gains the abilities to have spells later that affect not only within the dungeon but later outside the dungeon. So when you've got your forces out there, you're ready to go. All right. So I haven't played all the way through this. So what we're going to do is we're going to start getting as many strong folks as we can. We'll let that power up here. We've already got 6 orcs and 3 Naga. I'm just going to make sure everybody's doing okay. And after a while, the enemies will come in. So, you're the ultimate evil. You've got a dungeon full of treasure. Heroes can't resist it, so they'll keep coming in. But you got to set up the defenses. We've got spike trap, and we've got explodey treasure bomb, and those all work out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this fight to the Overworld real quick. I was actually hoping someone would come in for a second. And just to make life easier, so we're going to go and we're going to pick up, let's grab her. Oh, drinking a beer? Alright, yeah, beer break's over. And let's just get, oh, Ironclad. You'll notice each of these guys have different names, and that's consistent throughout the entire game. So no, you can't assign names to them, but they do get their own names, and in keeping with the humor, you'll find one that may or may not resemble the name Katy Perry. It's actually pretty funny. So there's a lot of like subtle humor stuff. And so here we're gonna go, here's our first outdoors. So yeah, you do have to pick everybody up, and then boom. Now you notice on the bottom left of the screen, this is the outdoor map. So now we're moving on 2 different maps. Your dungeon, still going. So you gotta go back in here and you're back in the dungeon, gotta keep an eye on stuff. But now you've also gotta manage your folks who are out in the cold. All right, one of the parts of this is penguins are your enemy. You're fighting in the Arctic. And this is part of the bonus DLC that is included on the disc. Those are holiday themes. We'll send them up there when they're done. Oh, no. All right, so yeah, you can do group or you can do range, and you can switch between deselecting and rotating through all the different folks. There you go. And so they'll auto attack. And like I said, it's more like, you know, it's a Warcraft. You know, you can strategize between, there we go, the good old Clash of Pumpkins. Waha. All right, you know, you gotta watch out for penguins because they're feisty. But back in the dungeon, you know, this is where you would keep maintaining things. So now the balance that you have to find in the game is, now I've already beefed this up. This is top level 3. This is, you know, like easy level. What's going to happen is like enemies will continue to come in, and as you excavate, because you need more rooms, you're going to need to dig out for another treasure. You're going to need to be able to dig out and find more mana. You're going to need to build farther along these walls and go out here and build infirmaries, training rooms, etc. To the point where all of the stats and abilities that you have for your overworld people who are chilling up here, not doing much, need to attack some penguins, are supported by the dungeon. So, you know, so that's how you think about it, and you send them out and home. There you go. And the more you take these guys down, and their little sort of igloo spawn units, these penguins are pretty tough. This guy's gotta go.
There are enemies in your dungeon.
Oh, enemies in the dungeon. Where are they at? Over here? Yes. Oh, see the penguins coming in? They hit a bomb. Oh! And goblins attacking them. Here comes some spikes. Here comes an orc. Oh, more spikes. And no, your traps don't affect you. Otherwise, you'd never get out of the dungeon. These guys are getting griefed on this. There you go. Let's see. So without traps, you'd have to have a massive amount of orcs, and then come in here and pick them all up. You know, once the alert goes off, they can run over there, but the traps slow them down. And there we go. All right, sweet. So we're like, here we're good. And then the guys will just bring over the units, which are being built here, as you see, and start rebuilding the traps. There's an automatic process. But this comes later in the game, level 3. Like, you really have to XP a lot. And you'll notice up here, let's see, we've got this. You know, those are your snots, those are just the function guys. Then you've got your goblins right here. Those are more of assassins and also researchers. And then you've got magic and range. And then you've got your tanks, your browsers. And then you get on the right, which is a little darked out right now because we're not high enough level, is like the super orc, you know, the big bruiser. And it gets pretty in-depth. So this is kind of what's going on here, and we'll just see how these guys are doing. Just killing more penguins. Not doing much, huh? Oh, everybody's dead. Oh, see, this is why you've got to make sure that you're paying attention. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, see, my party has failed. The penguins have won again. So here we are. This is actually the last dungeon of the campaign. So this has been built out. I mean, we're talking hours and hours and hours. We've got one, you know, here's our exit to the outside. This is the final battle revisited. You know, King's Ending. All right, so we've got our traps, some pretty crazy traps. Oh, look at that. You know, they just kind of pop out. And you can tell that, you know, I've been putting a lot of effort into here. You've got crazy doors, you know, you've got electrical things. Oh, it's a whole like sweatshop. You know, I got money for days. This is kind of just give you an idea of like, this is where you're going towards. We've got training units, so you can build into the, like I said, my gigantic, massive mecha orc dudes. This guy's, there you go. Let's pick him up, see what he's up to. So, yeah, not the most pleasant people you want to run into. All right, so we're just like, you can just chill out there. So we've got our Nagas, Mind and Magic. We've got Advanced Nagas, which is also pretty slick. They're going to town on a bunch of stuff. And this is just to give you a core concept of like where we're at right here. I mean, this is on the bottom right. We're looking at a ton of real estate here. All of this powering up your gold level, your mana level, just about everything. And so, where's my, let me skip around. Where's my Dungeon Lord? Beer, always beer. There you go. People just chilling. I got this guy. This is hitting there, getting fat. Fat bruiser. I'm sorry. Just a rather large bruiser. Alright. Cool. That's it. And that's it. This is the battle that you want to get to. And then here we go. We've already cleared up this entire level. We've evil-fied all of it. Ready to get to the end story. We've got to take down King Roberts, but unfortunately, you guys are going to have to wait to see what happens after, because that would be the end of the game. There you go. But that's it. That's kind of the idea, what you want to do, and it's like I said, it's you always have to keep an eye on what's going on down in your dungeon, because as you saw previously, you know, you have to have a good amount of strategy and support, or penguins will kill your party. So, that's it.